Agent Triple Helix to audience. Helix to audience, do you read me? Just wanted to remind you to like and subscribe. Over. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Helix, and that's right, we've got another accessibility review today. We're looking at a new release called Inverse. It's a, what do you call them? Asymmetric multiplayer horror survival game. Basically, you play 4 people. 4 humans are trying to activate these generators to unlock weapon cases to go get guns and shoot the monster, and the monster is just running around, skulking around, trying to murder everyone. And you can play with AIs or real people, so you can get 5 people in the lobby. It's actually pretty fun. Apparently it's like basically Dead by Daylight, but in VR. That's what everyone tells me. I wouldn't actually know because I've never actually played that game. But either way, that's what everyone says. But without further ado, let's go down with the review. Alright, as always, we're going to start off with the main menu. In this case, I guess it's more like the main room, because there's screens over there, and there's screens over here, and then there's this big screen, which we'll talk about in a second. But first, we'll talk about the first thing the game tells you to do, which is the tutorial. We're not going to actually do the tutorial, but it's a good demonstration. Oh, I got some drift. And if you don't know what this is, well, you're a bit young. And if you do remember what these are, just a reminder, we're getting older. That's right. I remember what those are. Time. Anyway, this is the tutorial screen, and I'm gonna take this and stick it in the VCR. There we go. And it's hopefully not going to eat it like they were, infamously doing all the time. But so here's a perfect example of one of these smaller but possibly significant issues. Right, so there's a play button right there, there's an eject button right there. I know that because I can kind of read them if I get close enough. But as you can see, if you get too close, if you physically try to, see I'm using the stick to get close to it, but then if you physically walk forward, the game just keeps bumping you back. So the whole walk to the back of your play space trick won't really work here. And it's not a problem with the big letters, as you saw earlier, we said no signal. But this text is pretty small. I can't really, even getting close to it, I can't really read that. I think it says 1, 2, it's like maybe objectives or something, but yeah, I don't know. So yeah, we'll eject that. There we go. And yeah, I definitely can't read what or if these say anything. There's like, these are the different levels you can do, the different single player stuff you can do, because there is also that. But yeah, can't read those. So that was the tutorial area over there, but this is the actual start a game screen. You have things like quick match, join match, which is where you like type in a code. You have private match, I think is where you start in a closed lobby and you share the code with people or something. And then friends, pretty self-explanatory, it's a friends only match. Or maybe it brings up a list of friends? Not sure. But either way, it's pretty small. So you can kind of get close to it. But again, you get that where it pushes you back. So yeah, just be aware of that. If you have really bad vision, I can barely read it, and I've got pretty bad vision. So if you have anything over anything better than 2400, you'll probably be fine because I can still kind of read it. I don't know what these are over here. I think this is just like credits stuff. Maybe other just documentation. Not at all sure what those say. Yeah. Oh, there's like progression there, so maybe it's other stats. I think that says progression. But anyway, that's this menu as well. Not too hard to navigate. It's not too insane. The join code thing might be hard, but if you know a standard keyboard, QWERTY keyboard layout, you can always just count from the edges. A, S, D, F, G, H. You can generally know where you're at. And lastly, for menus, I want to talk about this one, the sort of pop-up hand menu that you get when you press the hamburger button. I think that's what they call it, the 3 lines. Yeah, it's the left Oculus button. You can actually get pretty close to this, and it doesn't push you away. There is that occlusion plane that happens, but, you know, that's still pretty huge right there. Loadout, null loadout, lobby settings. What does that say? Purchases. Quick comment on that. This is a $30 game, and there's purchases. Like, they're small price purchases, 99 cents, but, like, come on, guys. Come on. So that's all for the menus. Let's move on to some gameplay mechanics. Okay, so here we are in the tutorial. I'm not going to take you step by step through the tutorial. I just wanted to point out something here. So there are these signs that they used to like rotate when you try to look at them. That they sort of do that billboard thing where they change. They don't do that anymore. Thanks to possibly yours truly. I gave them a suggestion and they listened, I think. So kudos to them. They seem to be willing to, the devs, I mean, of course, they seem to be willing to, you know, actually make their game a little bit more accessible, or at least have that in mind. Having said that, the screen's a bit high, so I gotta stand up on my tippy toes if I really want to read that. And it's pretty small, but you can get close to it if you know, are just maybe a little bit taller. Might help a little more. And all that really matters here is the bottom thing. There's like some bunch of flavor text, I'm guessing, but press B to sprint. Okay, cool, we know that. So you can press B to sprint. Cool. Okay, so apparently I kind of will be taking us through the tutorial because makes some good points actually. So like ladders and stuff, when you get close to them, they tend to glow a little bit like that. So you can tell where the ladders are and what can climb. So that's nice. Same thing with lockers. They have these yellow, or maybe that's green, I don't know, handles. And your controller vibrates when you put your hand in there and press the grip button. So that way you know what you can grab. You can get out and hide, and you know, same thing when you want to get out. So that's cool too. These little trap bomb things are pretty easy to see when you're playing as a human. They're usually on a table or a thing like this, some sort of case maybe. And when you pull the trigger to activate them, they change color and beep, and your controller starts vibrating. So that's cool to let you know, even if you have an issue with color and even this isn't enough of a difference, you can still, there's tactile feedback and a beep. And it beeps when it's on, and it just clicks when it's off. So that's fine for humans, but if you're the monster, and the trap is on the ground, or on the wall, or wherever, you may be at a slight disadvantage in seeing it, especially if you're, you know, running around, you're not maybe looking at the ground, or if it's dark, or if the ground is dirt, which is a possibility. So, maybe that's a problem for everybody, but I feel like it's more of an issue, or it can be more of an issue for somebody with a visual impairment. So keep that in mind. Slight disadvantage, not really that big of a deal. These little syringes are pretty important. They give you health when you're going to die. And they're this color, this isn't just the like tutorial color, they're actually pretty bright green or yellow, whatever that is, fluid in there. I don't know what that is, but I don't want it in me. But either way, saves lives. And it's pretty easy to see even if it's on the ground. See, we'll throw it there. See, that's pretty good contrast with that because it's dark, and it's usually a dark area. Now, in these things, these are just noisemakers. They can trick people, I guess. I don't know. But they kind of look sort of, you know, thrown together, not very clean. So if it's like on the ground or something and somebody dropped it, you might not really see it unless it's on something with really good contrast, like a shelf or a table or something. Hand scanners, which open and close doors, are pretty easy to see. They're bright blue on top of, you know, usually a dark background. And same thing with the health bar above it. So if you're running around, you can just quickly slap the thing, close the door behind the monster, and when it is disabled or the door is broken, it will turn red. So, you know, there's no like tiny little X or anything of it. It's just, the whole thing's just red. So that's nice. These cases have nice little bright indicators that usually have health or, you know, bombs or radios in them. So That's nice as well. Easy to see. So this here could actually be an issue. If you're visually impaired and you're playing on a team of humans, you may be running around in the dark looking for your friend and not see them, because the suits, even if you pick a bright color like green or blue, can appear to just be like a dark gray. But if you do manage to find them, you can just zap them. So we just helped this guy by zapping him with the defibrillator, which can be found on the belt, always on the left. So that's good, that's always in the same spot. You don't have to look for it. This, by the way, does have a visual indicator when you rub them together to indicate the charge, but they do also have another visual as well as audio, and the controllers vibrate, so a haptic indicator as well. So you know when it's charged, and you know obviously when it's not charged. So that's nice, that's cool to have. So this right here is a terminal. This is the main objective for the humans to do. You power them up, and when you get 3 powered up, this little case unlocks, and there's guns. Everybody loves guns, right? Shooting monsters and whatnot. But well, we'll start with the good, okay? Good is, you just grab these 2 little terminals, and you hold them together. Occasionally, there's that little mini game that pops up, you saw. It's got an audio indicator, right? So it starts beeping. Usually, you can do this with my eyes closed, right? Usually, 2 beeps, you hit the button, you're good. But what the dumb part of this is the charge indicator. Okay, it's charging, and it's like light blue on light gray? What? See, look, I'm not even looking at the beepy thing. Beep. I'm gonna do it again. Yep, didn't even look that time. So, oh, and I failed. Maybe you should look. But see, now it turns red, and that's nice, so you can see it decaying. But why not make it like green? Why this blue? Because you don't really need to see it, but if you want to sort of be aware of everything, including how much progress you have and whatnot, you should probably be able to see that. Now, I don't know why they made it, and of course when you fully do it. Do you mind? I'm trying to make a video here. You're interrupting me. You're just gonna keep talking? I can talk over you too, buddy.
Grab any equipment you may need and head out when you are ready.
You hear that? I hope it gets you.
I hope it gets you.
Anyway, as I was saying, just to finish this off, when you do fully complete it, it turns green. I don't know why they wouldn't just make it green to begin with. Guys, if you're watching, maybe just do that. Like, why have a very close to gray blue as the... I don't know, it's just... yeah. That's that. Another terminal here. See the perfect example of the issue with this color bar. When I first looked at it, I thought it was halfway charged. No, it wasn't. Not at all. It was just my brain playing tricks on me. Please, devs, if you're watching at all, please change that color. It's a good color. Oh, okay, wait. I guess if you... oh, hello. Hello. Well, that was an abrupt ending, thanks to a certain somebody, other agent, I'm not going to name any names, distracting me, got me killed by the monster. But I did get to show you most of the things I wanted to talk about. The tutorial did have, like, all the game mechanics, and except for the null gameplay, as the monster, that's what it's called, the null. I'm not going to show that because it's essentially just running around and doing this to people. But there are some of the issues I talked about earlier, like being able to see the dead body, or how that guy was wearing a dark suit. I mean, the same thing applies. It's just they're just not dead. They're walking around, but they're still, the suits, even if they're brightly colored, may look way darker than you think they would. so they could be a bit hard to see. Or like, say if you're, let's do a good example. Say if this is like a half wall or something, right? So you're here doing something, you're looking for people as the monster. Somebody way down at the end of the hallway sort of dashes past real quick. You might not see him if you're, blind. So the other small thing I wanted to talk about was the watch here. It's pretty good. It's got these 3 lines on it, so you know how much health you have. And I think on the screen, normally it shows the match timer. Oops. It shows the match timer, and has like indicators for your partners. So for your other teammates. So it's just like colored indicators. And I think when they die, they go away or something. I'm not sure. But I think there's also an indicator for how many terminals you have done. But it's not the easiest thing to read. I think they did make it bigger. It may have been smaller before. And after receiving some feedback, they think they made it bigger. But yeah, it's still pretty small. And it does have this, like, when you try to look at it, close, it clips or disappears because of that occlusion plane. Not really sure what they can do to fix that, if they can. Otherwise, you'd just be wearing, a tablet on your wrist. It's pretty big as it is. But at least you can see your health. That's really the important part. Quick thing I wanted to mention about the multiplayer lobbies, because that's where we are right now, where this is where you go when you actually select a game. They've got the map select here, which is pretty easy to read, even if you can't get all that close to it, right? There's base 76, yeah. The Arctic, the ruins, I don't even know how to say that, and the sewers. I think, now that one is a little bit hard to read because it's smaller. I think that's how you switch it from a private to a public game, and maybe vice versa. And then you have the selection if you want to be an agent or null. So you just stick your hand there, and it'll stick you as either, say if you want to choose to be the null, you can choose it, or it'll just pick whoever randomly. Alright, so that's gonna do it for Inverse. It's a decent game. I enjoy playing it. It's the actual game mechanics, there's nothing really wrong there as far as accessibility. From an accessibility standpoint, everything's pretty easy to see. There's some issues that I talked about earlier, some disadvantages might be, but as visually impaired players, we know those all too well. Those pretty much come up in any kind of multiplayer game, so it's just pretty much that. And then there are the smaller sort of menu issues, but the big issue. Okay, here's the kicker. Here's why I'm only giving this game like a 6 out of 10, right? As far as accessibility, and why you should maybe get this game, but maybe not. It's a $30 game. That's right, 30 with a dollar sign in it, and $29.99 on the Oculus Store. But whatever, that's $30. Many people, including myself, if you don't know for sure you're going to be able to play a game, you're not about to drop $30 on something that may end up just sitting in your library. Because oftentimes, you get a game, you play it, and by the time you realize, especially with Oculus's refund policy, by the time you realize you can't really play it to the fullest extent, it's too late, you can't refund it, and now you're just stuck with a dead game, or a game that you can't play. So, sorry Inverse, it's a great game, but till that price comes down, 6 out of 10, because it's not worth the risk for some people. It's just not. But I do actually enjoy the game. I like playing it with friends. I haven't really tried many random people, just going into quick matches and such, just because the game just came out. I haven't really had time to, but I do enjoy playing with friends. Actually, a friend, Clickster, shout out to him, Fun with the Clicks is his channel. He gave me a key, and so we played together a bit, and it was a lot of fun. So if you don't mind the risk, if you can afford it, $30, sure, get the game. If not, maybe wait for a sale. But that is going to do it for this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe. If if you want to see more content. And if you want to yell at me or just give me a friendly comment, go ahead and drop that in the comment section under the video, you know, or maybe to the side. I don't know how your how your browser's laid out. You know, do that. Anyway, I'm Helix. Till next time, catch you in the next video.